So welcome everybody to my latest edition of Steve's World. And in my last video we had a quick look at QUANTA Exchange, a new upcoming ICO, and in this video I would like to go a little bit further down the rabbit hole, have a closer look at what QUANTA Exchange, decentralized exchange, is all about, and go a little bit more into detail about this project. So basically, if you haven't seen my last video, what is QUANTA decentralized exchange all about? It is a, as already mentioned, decentralized exchange that provides fast, secure digital asset exchange. What it means, it's simply a crypto exchange that is not centralized like Binance or Bitfinex, Bittrex, whatever, but it's decentralized. And they want to provide liquidity to a market that is chronically illiquid. And the unique thing about QUANTA is that they are building a decentralized exchange that allows the exchange across any blockchain. So if you have a look at competitors like Kyber Network, 0x, or Neo's decentralized exchange, NEX, they all are focused solutions on specific ecosystems. For example, Kyber and 0x are specifically targeted at ERC20 tokens. So with Kyber and 0x, you can at this point in time only exchange ERC20 tokens, which is great, but it's not ideal if you want to have something like Binance, for instance, because on Binance you cannot only trade ERC20 tokens, you can also trade Bitcoin, you can also trade many other coins like ICX, for instance, or AIM. And this is the unique aspect about QUANTA, is that they really seek to create a decentralized exchange that will help you to exchange tokens, coins across any blockchain, which is in this market at this point in time really exciting and really unique, because it's something new. I think 0x also plans to implement this cross-blockchain exchange at a specific time in their roadmap, but this point in time is really far ahead in their roadmap. And QUANTA, on the other hand, they seek to implement this feature right at the beginning, which is, in my opinion, quite exciting. And so that's also the reason why I call QUANTA often the icon or the Aeon or the one chain of decentralized crypto exchanges, because they are creating a hub, and around this hub are all these blockchains that you can trade and exchange. So it's, in my opinion, pretty unique. And the problem that QUANTA is seeking to solve is that, first of all, we are in a market that is predominantly dominated by centralized exchanges. So I think the biggest four centralized exchanges like OKX, Huobi, Binance and Bitfinex have a total trading volume of 64%, which is massive, which is huge. And the decentralized exchanges only account for a trading volume of 0.4%, which is basically nothing. Everybody in this market talks about decentralization, but you have to go on to a centralized exchange to get your decentralized tokens, whatever. So which is a huge problem in the market, in my opinion. And that's why QUANTA seeks to tackle this issue, that they are, or that we as a market are confronted with a monopoly of centralized exchanges, and they seek to tackle this problem. And they have also identified the problem that decentralized exchanges are not liquid. And what this means is that even if you want to use a decentralized exchange, say for instance Kyber Network or 0x, you still have the problem of illiquidity. So let's say you go to 0x and you want to exchange one ERC20 token for another one, but you have the problem that there is no buyer, no seller, or you have the problem that there are so few buyers or sellers that one party can really dramatically decide on a price point, which is a huge and a massive problem for decentralized exchanges. Because let's say if you are offered ICON at a price of $10, you wouldn't buy it on a decentralized exchange. You would instead go to Binance and buy it for, what is it at the moment, 60 cent, 70 cent. Okay, so that's the second biggest issue that decentralized exchanges are tackling at the moment, or are confronted with at the moment. And the central problems that Quanta's competitors, such as Kyber Network, 0x, EDEX, Neo Exchange, what they all are facing is that they are built upon a specific platform. So for example, Kyber Network, 0x, they are built on Ethereum. Neo Exchange is built, as I said, on Neo. So what this means is that all these exchanges are always limited to the potential of the underlying blockchain. And in most cases, these underlying blockchains do not provide the necessary ecosystem that a decentralized exchange would require. So what do I mean by this is, for example, in the case of Ethereum, you have the problem that you can only trade ERC20 tokens. But not only this, but it's also dependent on the block time, the underlying block time of Ethereum. So it's an inbuilt latency, and even if 0x says, hey, we would like to do 1000 transactions per second, this will not be possible as long as Ethereum does not provide the necessary ecosystem that helps you to do 1000 transactions per second. And the problem is Ethereum at the moment can only handle 13 transactions per second, which is a massive problem if you want to build a decentralized exchange upon Ethereum, because you can only do 13 transactions per second, which means trading on 0x will become quite a pain because of this built-in latency, which is a massive problem, and I think many investors of 0x or Kyber Network haven't realized that this is such a huge problem. It's really a massive problem, a big problem. And that's also the reason why it's not the best solution for real-time trading. It's you simply have to name it by the problem that it is, the huge problem that it is. And when it comes to scalability, these decentralized exchanges that are built upon a specific platform also have the problem that they are not scalable, as scalable as you would be if you were using your own blockchain and could scale it according to your own wishes and to your technical abilities, of course. And what this means is, if Ethereum does not scale within the next 1 or 2 years, 0x will always be limited to the existing scalability, which is a huge problem. Because let's say, for instance, Ethereum decides to quit, stops functioning, whatever, and you have this huge massive problem that at this point in time 0x will also become obsolete because of this issue. And that's the point where Quanta comes in, because they are building their own blockchain, and they are seeking to develop a fast and scalable public blockchain, and by doing so they want to provide the ecosystem that is at a higher advantage in comparison to all the other competitors, which is, in my opinion, pretty exciting, really exciting. So let's have a quick look at the potential pros of QUANTA. In my opinion, they could really build a considerable amount of hype around their own project, simply because of the fact that they are going to allow the exchange between different blockchains, which is, in my opinion, huge, and the market still has not realized the potential of this feature ability. And they seek to provide at the inception provide 500,000 orders per second, which is huge. If you compare it to 13 transactions per second on Ethereum, it's amazing. It's 1,000 times bigger than Ethereum can handle at the moment, which is exciting. And the limit of them lies around 5 million orders per second, which is really what you need if you want to build a decentralized exchange that wants to compete with centralized exchanges and the benefits you have with centralized exchanges. And on a decentralized exchange, you have a better protection against hackers, because a decentralized exchange in this sense cannot be hacked, because you own all your tokens, you have them all in your own wallet, which is a massive advantage. And you are less, or as already mentioned, you are less dependent on the underlying blockchain infrastructure, as for example Kyber or 0x, because they are dependent on Ethereum or Neo. And you can achieve a much better scalability, as already mentioned. And what I found interesting is that they said on their website that they have already 250,000 interested traders, investors, so there's a big interest for this project in the market, which shows with these statistics you can find on their website. And what I also found interesting is the team, that they have team members from eBay, from Google, from PayPal, and from Netflix, which are experienced in building systems with a lot of throughput, with a lot of transactions per second. And they have also outlined in their white paper that there are a wide range of other use cases, not just crypto, but also betting, gaming, many other use cases for this particular exchange, which is always good to consider, to have these use cases. And yeah, I think these were the most important aspects about them. These were the aspects that got me really excited about this project. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see this project, to see how it develops. And yeah, as I already mentioned, I'm quite excited about this project. I like it so far, and I really will watch it closely. And feel free to tell me what you think about the project in the comment section below. And until then, we see each other in the next video.